Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn how to use the DeltaStreamer in a continuous mode. This is part 5. So in this complete tutorial series, right, the first part, we learned how to get started with DeltaStreamer locally. We learned in the first part ingesting Parquet source. Second part, we learned how to ingest CSV source. Third part, we learned how to ingest multiple table using Hudi MultiTable DeltaStreamer. Fourth part, we learned RFC 14, which was incremental JDBC puller, right? How to pull data from any JDBC source in a structured approach into Hudi Tables. This is the fifth part now where I will be teaching you how to ingest data in a continuous mode using DeltaStreamer. So just to show you what we're going to build, again, over here, I have 3 terminals. Over here, the one that you see over here, after every 5 seconds, new CSV file is being dumped. And what you see over here, after every 20 seconds, the DeltaStreamer is ingesting new CSV file into the Hudi transactional data lake. And what you see on the up over here is a Spark streaming job, which is reading data in a stream-oriented fashion from the Hudi transactional data lake. So that's what we're going to learn. Again, this is very close to a real world project, but we are doing this locally. We are, new files are arriving constantly, and the DeltaStreamer is ingesting new data in a continuous mode. And also we are doing a streaming read, right? So as we are writing data into Hudi, we have a streaming job, Spark streaming job, which is also reading data from these Hudi tables. So that's what we're going to learn, pretty close to a real world example. I hope you're excited, and this should be exercise number 5. So let's get started. Just a quick note, since you're following me from last 4 tutorials, I won't be repeating the steps such as download the jar file. It's understood, you're watching part 5. So I'm assuming that you already have your local environment configured and you can directly run these labs. So now let's get started. Let me share my screen. This is gonna be exercise number 5. You will see a folder called E5. Inside there is a folder called sample data, okay? Inside that, you will probably see a Python file called datagen.py. Let me delete this folder quickly. This Python file will generate a CSV file after an interval of 5 seconds, okay? Now let's review the Spark job. This is the main one. So let me collapse this. Spark submit, again, straightforward. We have done this from the previous lab. Class, we are going to use org.apache.utilities.streamer.hudistreamer. We are providing in the package. I'm using Spark 3.4, so I'm using Apache Hudi 0.14.0. After that, we provide the Spark configuration, which is pretty straightforward. Let me show you quickly. See if I can. All right, if I can quickly show. Again, pretty straightforward, right? Just a simple settings, right? Hopefully that made sense. Here we provide the jar file. My jar file is inside a folder called jar. So again, providing the jar file over here. Now, in order for us to have DeltaStreamer operate in a continuous mode, we can provide in a flag called -- continuous, as you can see over here. These are 2 flags that I'm using. Source limit, so the maximum amount of data that it should read at once from the source, right? So I'm providing in that. Minimum sync interval in seconds. So after how much seconds the DeltaStreamer should sync or read data, right? So that's that part over here. Table type copy on write, method as absurd. My dedupe key is going to be timestamp. I'm reading from a CSV source, so I'm using the class org.apache.hudi.utilities.sources CSV DFS source. Target would be in my downloads inside a folder called HudiDB and a silver. Target table name is going to be orders. So I am adding one more component in this lab, is the transformer part. Now often when you're reading data, you might want to transform it, right? So this lab also contains the transform or the T part as well, okay? So I'm using, I'm going to transform my data by using this particular setting. So I'm going to say -- transformer class, and I'm going to say org.apache.hudi.utilities.transform.SQL query based transformer, and then I'm providing the Hudi settings. Now let's see the Hudi settings. That's the most important part. So over here, and let me zoom in. Hopefully this makes sense. So my record key or the primary key is going to be order ID. That's my PK. Partition part is going to be year and month. Again, this particular column, year and month, I don't have it. I'm going to extract that from the order date using a transform query, okay? I'll show you. This is the path where I should be reading the data, right? So hopefully that made sense. So when we run that Python file, sample datagen.py is gonna continuously generate CSV file inside this particular directory. Okay. I want my data to be deduped on timestamp. Clustering is for next lab, so I'm gonna cover that. But again, I just have these settings here. So we are gonna do async clustering, meaning, see, when we are reading and writing data continuously, right? We could generate small files, right? And Hudi has a feature where you can configure the file size, but I want to show you in the next lab. Okay, and see, now we have these small files. Let's use clustering. Grab all these small files together into a bigger file. So again, that's for the next lab, but I just have the settings here. So again, we're gonna do async clustering in the next lab probably. Okay, here, observe. That's the transform query. The way we provide that is hudi.deltastreamer.transformer.sql. So select star, extract year from the order date, extract month from the order date. Again, this is the syntax that you need to use. So the from would be this particular one. Again, this is given on the Hudi's website. So I'm simply providing a SQL query through which I can extract the year and the month. And then I'm partitioning my transactional data lake by year and month. Okay. Now, let me show you one more thing. Hopefully, let me collapse this quickly. So now the Spark reading job, right? Straightforward job. Let me show you quickly. Again, we declare a Spark session. Again, we provide in the packages. We create a Spark session. That's the path where my DeltaStreamer is gonna ingest data. It's gonna write data, right? So this is the path where my DeltaStreamer is gonna write data. So I'm gonna read data from that particular Hudi table in a stream-oriented fashion. Again, I create a stream data frame object. And as you can see, stream data frame.write schema.format console. This is the checkpoint directory. And for each batch, I'm gonna invoke a function called process batch. And all process batch does is basically checks if the data frame count is greater than 0, and all it's gonna do, it's gonna print the data frame on the console. So now, okay, all that makes sense. Now let's see all this in action. So again, now I have started this particular Python file, which is gonna generate a new CSV file in that directory. As you can see, after every 5 seconds, we'll see those CSV files coming in. Now, what we can do is we can start the DeltaStreamer. So I'll copy this one over here and expand this. On the lower terminal, I'll paste the command, and this should start my DeltaStreamer, which should operate in a continuous mode. So now let's wait. Again, new CSV files are constantly being generated, right? As you can see. So now let me go to my downloads. As you can see, I see a Hudi DB, silver zone, and I see the Hudi metadata, and soon I should be seeing those Parquet files and the partition being created. So let's wait. Okay, 2023 year, month, as you can see, makes sense, and I see those Hudi Parquet files. So now what I'm gonna do, since it's running in a continuous mode, on the upper terminal, I'm gonna start my Python Spark streaming job. So Python, I guess stream.py. Now again, we are writing data into Hudi transactional data lake, and now we are reading also the data at the same time in a stream oriented fashion. Okay, so below terminal we are writing, above terminal we are reading data from those Hudi transactional data lake. So let's see everything in action. So hopefully that made sense. As you can see, we are now reading data in a stream oriented fashion. So the DeltaStreamer will constantly listen for new files, ingest into Hudi. This Python file over here is constantly gonna as new file comes in, it's gonna basically process them. Right now I'm just printing it on the console, but again, you could power some of the downstream application in a stream oriented fashion. Okay, so hopefully this entire exercise made sense. So now let me quickly just summarize the exercise for you. So this is exercise number 5. What you need to do is first you would start the sample datagen.py. This will generate constantly a CSV file at an interval of 5 seconds. After that, the Spark submit job is given to you. So run that Spark submit job. Now this Spark submit job will constantly ingest data from those CSV source into Hudi transactional data lake. Then you have a Python file which is given to you, which will basically read data in a stream oriented fashion from that Hudi table, right? So hopefully this made sense. This is exercise number 5. We have been going slowly and adding components to our DeltaStreamer. As you can see, first part we learned Parquet, second part was CSV, third part MultiTable DeltaStreamer, fourth part was JDBC based ingestion, right? So we learned how to ingest data from JDBC source, and this is the fifth part where we now introduced a SQL based transformer, and we also learned how to run DeltaStreamer in a continuous mode. Thank you so much. I'll leave all the previous parts in the description. So in case if you want to learn, please go ahead to those resource section. If you think I've done a great job, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your coworkers and colleagues. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.